Today, I would like to talk to you about the fifth way, the way of love, the way of the human being. But before I'll introduce this model on this board, I'd like to talk just a little bit about concepts. It's a concept. A concept is like a map you use to look at something you might want to achieve later. You get some information, you put it aside. A concept is not reality. So it's very important to know this is one perspective, one possibility to look at things. And since many of us are much in their mind, thinking a lot, try to understand, want to be logical. That's why our brain has to be fed by concept sometimes. That's like this. But if the mind is satisfied, let's throw the concept away and let's live reality, practically, actively, joyful. So this concept for the mind is, because one of my beliefs is our mind can't create any ideas or whatever, because it's like a radio. It can receive music, talks and so on, but it can't produce them themselves. Our brain gets ideas, creativity, intuition and so on from higher spheres. They are like a gift for us. We can bring them down to earth and mainly we can put them into practice. So after telling you all this, you might know, but it's to bring it up in your conscious mind again. I'll try to talk about the fifth way. The fifth way, three numbers are important, or four, if you take the one. Because we'll start with the one above here. The dot, the one. That's everything that exists, the universe, the absolute consciousness, God, Big Bang. You call it whatever you want, but everything that exists, which we are part of, I can't put it on the board because nobody knows what it is really. We make more and more research, we know more and more, but still we know so little. And we see everything in 3 dimensions with time added to it, but maybe reality has 4 dimensions. Who knows? Maybe 5, 6, 100, a million. But our brain can't receive that information. So let's be humble about that and make a little dot for all and everything. It's like saying, when we talk about us as human beings, we could say we're a drop in the ocean. But maybe in reality, the ocean is in the drop. So we're in the point is in us. So when the number 3 comes in, and the number first, the number 12 comes in because I'll put 12 dots on the board to explain this model. The 3 comes, I'll make 3 circles. I'll make 3 lines. Also to keep, the round is like the archetype of going on. That's the female archetype. This, the thought, that's the male archetype. So I'll unite the 3 of one kind, 3 of the others, so to be integral from that point of view. But it came out like this, and that makes sense. And if you add the top level, you have 4, but you're going to see what it is. So I'll make the first circle here. And this circle is for the human body. I make the next dot down here as a counterpart, the middle of the body. That's where I say we do things. It's a doing place. We'll see there is a choice. Normally we, in our daily life, we react a lot to so many things. I don't have to give you example. You know, we react to expectancies from outside. Is it because we want to be nice? Is it because we're anxious or so on? Okay, we do. In the model is, I'll show you the possibility, how I see it. How will it be possible to be not mainly reactive, but mainly active? You also have always to be reactive in some ways, but a good balance with a priority maybe to the active. Do what you want. Do what you think is necessary. What does your conscience tell you to do? What do higher worlds maybe tell you what to do if you believe in that perspective? So that's doing. But on this doing place, we have the human body, and inside the human body, main actor is our ego, in our personality. That's a normal way we often function. I also call this, if we talk about the fifth way, that's the first way is a mechanical way. We do a little bit like machines. Our brain knows from the past how to do things, wants to repeat things because that is the easiest way, and repeats what he or it knows and puts it into practice. But that's the reactive way, I call it. I add to this doing from the body, where the body is active, 3 other dots. The psychological one, could call it our soul. In psychology, they say you have 3 main areas of this sphere: the thinking, our head; the feeling, our heart; and the third one, not to forget, is the will, which is down a little bit lower than you can see, but you see down in the area of our stomach. We have this energy center, sometimes called hara, and that's where we have our power, our will. What do I want? What is are my wishes? What is my will? Motivation comes from here. So we have this body that wants to do things, and we have on the psychological level these 3 I just told you. Often the will is let out. Often you read in books, thinking, feeling, doing. Some powers like you to have no will, or a very small one, or a wish to buy the things they offer. So if people want to manipulate you, they prefer you feel, oh wow, you think a bit to buy it, and but not to have their own will. And those in power don't want every human being to have a free will, because they lose some power. It would be great if everyone has the will to put into practice and get as a gift, give it to all the universe and the people on this planet, all his capacities. We share, because theoretically it would be possible, or the potential is there, if I give my potential, my capacities, my work to everyone else except for me. And if every human being would do this, what does it mean? Everyone except myself works for me, gives me gifts, works for me. Great. But let's let this idea for the future, and hope this future will come soon. So now I want to talk about personal development, inner development, inner evolution. We have a body. Then we go to the next level, which I call inner evolution. It's evolution. It's not only having, but evolving. The third level will be being. It is what it is, everything is, like when I say like above, so below, a known phrase, everything is in everything, holographic way of seeing things. So let me explain, how can I evolve? How can I develop personally to be a good cell of the whole? Because there is more than me. In psychology, we call it transpersonal psychology, that goes beyond us, because if we're not a cell of the whole, we can't exist. And the best thing to exist in the best way possible is to work with this whole, because everything that I do for the whole, I do for me too. And if many people do this, wow, great team. So this is the second level I called inner evolution or inner development. And again, I have 3 dots. And the 4th one in the middle. If I put here the thinking, the feeling, and the will, as I said, on the 3 dots of this first dimension, the second one is I try to evolve and go from here to here. But what is necessary here is to open up. Opening up, letting go of my old concept. Everything I learned, the reaction comes because I do what I learned. But is it my will? Is it what I want to do? Is what the higher spheres or the whole wants from me? So I have to open up, and then I put directly the 3rd dimension with its 3 dots, and there creativity comes from. So if I open up, I have to open up, make space, look, that intuition and everything, like I said in the beginning, our brain is like a radio, so let things come in that I can have possibilities to get this creativity if I'm up, and then I can put it down on this level where I can put it into practice. Best ideas for concrete results. The next, from feeling, what do I have to do? Encounter people, nature, reality. Go thoughts, not stay at home and sit and only do whatever, cook, read books, or sleep, but encounter reality outside, other people mainly, as a human being. And this is to come to the goal of cooperation. Because cooperation is needed. Like, the more you cooperate, the better it is for everyone. Now we're in an economic system where you have to be the best, you have to compete, you have to, and competition leads in the extreme to wars, like we see, that are still possible. So we have to cooperate and encounter people. And if we encounter people, empathy is needed, and you can imagine a lot of things that you have to do on this level to then have the idea that those people, I really like to work together to a similar common aim for a better world. The third one, the will, goes up to, and it has to communicate with the higher will up here. And what do I have to do? The universe needs me. I need the universe. If I want to do it only from an egoistic point of view here, that's like turning in a circle or living in this first way, I can do it. I'll have a little bit of fun, I have a little bit of trouble, a little of misery, but no evolution, no inner development. Not using my possibilities that I have. Everyone has it in different ways, but everyone has these capacities, and on this level, I have to listen to the higher will. If I listen to the higher will will also listen to me. And if we can hold hands, then we're on the same route. And that means for me that I don't have to push through walls, have to fight, and everything is difficult. No, if we're on one line and work together above and below, me and the whole, the energy will flow, and that's not a question. And I'll get as much energy as I need. If things are easy, be thankful. Thanks for the energy. If it's difficult, maybe you ask if your will and the higher will, you feel there is, or wanting the same thing to be done. So we have work to do, we can develop, and if we develop only on one line, that's like a chair where one leg is missing, maybe two, or some are higher, some are shorter. So the best way is to try to leave all three lines to go up on a level that they are all three, one as important as the others. But in reality, there are no three, there is a whole. But from the perspective of this model, if you really achieve to be creative, to be cooperative, and you're in connection with your higher will, then the model says, okay, you get in touch with the absolute, with unity, which is the way we go. And that this unity, if it feels we are coming towards it, will go down into us and bring us love, way of love, light, energy, call it what you want. That's not the point. But you'll feel, wow, my sense of life. And that's connected with the higher will. What is the sense of my life? Here, inner evolution is also a sense of my life in some way. So if you get this, I call it now love, and on this level there is one dot left. That's where that's where we have the observer. Because if in everyday life, observation, I call it, the observer, observation, because here, if I want to come out of reacting and want to act, that's where everything comes together. I do what I and the whole wants. So here I have to observe. That means while I'm doing something, I have to be conscious that I'm doing it, and conscious that I'm doing something that leads me to my goal. And because we say we are conscious, I know if I do this because I wanted to raise my hand, but in reality we are sleeping while being awake, and in some way, and we are not really conscious. So a little bit higher consciousness is what's needed. And so you need these observations to really come to this point, and that's the center of this dimension, higher consciousness. Really knowing at the same time, and knowing you do what you want to do, not what others want. There is a lot of manipulation, as I said, in this respect. Some things might be okay from the outside. You have to go to the outside also to cooperate. But this is, as a whole, you have to open up, to encounter, to really listen, because that's, I think I forgot, I said in evolution, but this stuff is listening to the higher will, but maybe I said it. So now you have this level I want to call, that's in the inner evolution, you come to the spiritual being. Because I said having, developing, then you come into the spiritual being, and this is this level, the inner evolution, the spiritual being up here. Okay, and that is the highest being, all and everything and nothing. I hope you got some of this model. It doesn't look so nice in my drawing. It should look like this. But now I think your mental part, your brain should get it or refuse it. If you're entering not only to make your brain happy, but if you want to live this and try, how can I put this into practice that I come from these actions to this level of higher consciousness, then okay, let's get active. You can try it on your way with your ideas, your possibilities. We might locally come together and do it in a workshop in some other way. Anyway, I thank you for listening. I hope you didn't feel you lose your time and you got a little bit of inspiration. Bye.